Hi everyone, I'm Patrick, and today marks my 1 week on T. So I really have very little to report back on. My girlfriend keeps asking me if I feel any different, so I'm just kind of like, not really. Um, Really the only thing that I've noticed is that I think my pee smells different. Um, and even that is still like a maybe, but I really do think it smells different. But so far that's about it. Um, like I said, I'm doing subcutaneous shots, so that means it's into the fat. It's like just below the fat layer under my skin. Um, so I figured since that's like all I had to report back on, I would just go through a little rundown of how I'm going to be giving myself my shots, or how I am giving myself my shots. Um, and let's see, I did my belly. Here, let's do this. Last week I had mine on this side. This week I had it right there. Um, and oh, right about, where is it? Right there, I still have a little bump. Just because when I got the first shot, I'm gonna adjust this thing a little bit. When I got the first shot, I guess like it makes a little like bubble of the like oil that it's suspended in underneath your skin. So like it makes sense that like there would be a little bit of a bump there, but I was surprised that it stayed this long. It's definitely gotten smaller and smaller each day. This one, the one that I just did, it doesn't seem to have a bump yet, but I can feel it when, like, I guess, like, I don't know, my skin still feels a little bit tender if I, like, rub my finger over it. I literally did my shot, like, an hour and a half ago. Um, so yeah, so I figured I would just walk through the process of how I do my shot. I have my little doggy bag here of good, wonderful things. I just want to insert a little trigger warning right here. From this point on, I will be talking about how I actually give myself the shots, and I will be showing all of the components that I use, including the syringes and needles. So, just wanted to put that out there. Thanks for watching. So, the things I have are alcohol swabs. I have a sharps container. Does somebody want it anywhere? No. I have a sharps container. I have my syringes, which, there you go, you can kind of see the syringes. I have my 18 gauge needles that I use for sucking the testosterone up. I have these wonderful, what are these, 23 gauge needles that I use for the actual injection themselves, or itself. And then I have the testosterone. Let's see, there we go. Maybe you can read it like that. And cotton balls and a couple band-aids just for in case I need them. Which, like, if I just held the cotton ball in it for a little bit longer, I definitely wouldn't. But so I guess I'm just gonna do a little rundown of how I do the shot. So first I take out one of the syringes, and that's these right here. I'm not going to separate them or do anything right now because I just did my shot. But I would take one out. First I would just get everything out and prep. So I would take out one of everything that I just showed you all. And then I open this a little bit. It opens right at the top there. So I would open it a little bit just so that I can get the syringe out. And I guess I should say before all of this, I wash my hands. So yeah, then I open the syringe thing a little bit just so I can get it out. I take one of my 18 gauge needles, and I'll show you what that looks like. They look like this. I guess I'll insert a little trigger warning a little bit earlier. Yeah, so these are my needles, and I just open one of these a little bit right there. This end of the needle, that end right there, is sterile, as is this end of the syringe. So that's why I open it just a little bit and keep it on like a sanitary place. And then what I do is I screw this needle onto the end of the syringe there, and I keep the cap on. And then I take out, well, what worked best for me today was then I took out one of my smaller needles that I use for the actual injection, which that's all rolled up. So I'll show you what that looks like. That's one of these. Whoops. That's one of these. So I take out one of those, do the same thing. I'll start to like peel it up a little bit just to have it ready. Then I take out the testosterone itself, which is in this little, I guess, vial. And it comes in a box like this. And then it looks just like this, pretty tiny. And it comes with a cap on it. So the first time I just flipped the cap off and then went from there. But now that the cap is already off, this is good for about 4 uses. So like one of these will last me a month. And so since the cap has already been off of it, I'm supposed to take an alcohol swab and just like swab the top before I suck it up into the syringe. And so with my syringe and the big needle that I had, which is, I just put it down. Oh, I put it away, so I'm not going to take it back out. Then I would take the cap off the big needle, stick it into this right here. Then I would flip this upside down and pull out as much of the testosterone as my prescription is and make sure that there's no air in it, etc. Then I put this down, which right now I'm just going to put it away. And then what I do is now I have the needle that I'm going to inject with ready. I have this little guy ready. And so then I would put the cap back on the big needle, unscrew it, take it off, stick it in my lovely sharps container. And then I would screw this needle, the injection needle, I would screw that on to the syringe. And then that, it has a little cap lock system. And so I would just leave it all set up, and I would make sure everything that needs to stay sterile stays sterile. So I just wouldn't take the cap off the needle, and then I could put it down. And then I would take one of my little alcohol swabs, and then I'm just going to show you on my arm how it would work. But on my belly, I like figure out where I want to put the needle, and then I don't do it in my arm, do it in my belly. And then I would take the alcohol swab and swab in little circles going out. And then I have my girlfriend help with this part because I have a harder time. I'm good with everything in the process except for the actual poking myself with the needle. So then my girlfriend would pinch my belly where she's going to do the shot, and then she would put it in at a 45-degree angle, and then I inject the testosterone in pretty slowly just because I've heard other guys say that like you don't want to do it super fast because then it can feel a little bit more uncomfortable. Let me take the needle out, and this locking system, I just push the pink part, which I guess it's kind of hard to see in this. I would push this pink part back over the needle to lock it, drop that in my lovely sharps container, and then grab a cotton ball, dab over the area where I did the shot, and then stick a band-aid on it if I feel like it. And it's really that easy. And by easy, I mean like it takes a bit to learn it, but it's really not bad at all. For me, the hardest part is just poking myself with the needle. And honestly, it doesn't even really hurt that bad. And I have always hated needles. Always, always. Not even because I was afraid of them, just because I didn't like how it felt. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole process. Today, when I did my shot, when we pulled the needle back out, there was a little bit of the tea that kind of like seeped out onto my skin, but it was like a teeny tiny bit, so I wasn't really worried about it. I just figured it was because I definitely made sure there was absolutely no air in the needle. And so because the plunger only goes down to like where the needle starts, there was still some left in the needle afterwards. And so I really wasn't worried about it. I'm sure I still got everything that I need to get. So yeah, that's my process. Started tea a week ago. I'm a week old. Yay. And I realized that in some ways I feel a little bit impatient, but in many other ways I'm also just excited for the journey and to grow over the period of the whole thing, because I realize like as month by month goes by, just in general in life, I feel like it's all going so fast, And so for me to be impatient after a week on testosterone, it's kind of counterintuitive to just how I live in a lot of ways. So I'm just excited for things to come. And yeah, shout out to my girlfriend for being awesome and wonderful and lovely. And thank you all for watching. I hope this has been helpful a little bit. I know one of the things that was hard for me beforehand was just that I couldn't find a lot of videos about guys talking about the shots, so I figured I hope this helps. Yeah, I hope you are all having happy holidays if you celebrate holidays this time of year. Otherwise, I hope you're having a happy winter or summer depending on where you live. And I'll talk to you all next week. Yay. Have an awesome day. Bye.